Hey guys, welcome back to the ninth Marvel Rivals Cozy Cash Cup sponsored by AVAX. I am Manatee, your host for today, joined by my co-host Muff.
Going on, everybody?
And today we've got 8 fantastic teams playing in a double elimination best of one format for $500. The first place prize will be taking home $300, and the second place will also bag a nice $200 themselves. Looks like we got a lot of new teams here for this Cozy Cash Cup Muff. How are we feeling about these teams?
I'm really excited, man. These are some really powerhouse teams. We've got teams from Ignite. We've got teams from all across the board. We've got some newcomers. We've got some old comers. We got some veterans in the cozy space. Like this is going to be a really crazy cash cow.
Yeah, let's take a look at the bracket real fast. We will be watching these teams, or I guess the first game that we'll be watching will be, as it says here, match number 12, which should be Grand Semifinals, or in this case, we'll be calling it Winners Finals. And it should be between Ego Death and one of Cafe Rose or Atlanta Phoenix Guard. And yeah, I mean, Atlanta Phoenix Guard won the last Cozy Cash Cup, so it's not surprised to see them doing pretty well here in the winner side bracket. Yeah, any other information you know about these teams, Muff?
Yeah, no, the Atlanta Phoenix Guard was really impressive. Last Cash Cup. I mean, they came out of left field. They were really quiet coming in and just absolutely made the most noise. As far as Ego Death, from what I hear, they are a Aussie esports team. They are new to the Cozy Cash Cup universe, so it's actually gonna be really exciting to see where they end up finding themselves by the end of this. Yeah, I'm really excited because we just have a bunch of new teams and seeing all these new faces trying to make a name for themselves is just really cool.
Yeah, did you mention that it was Disconnected Esports that was Australian team?
Yeah, Disconnected Esports. Yeah, they are the Aussies. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I think it was Ego Death was they're the ones who played in the Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament in June. And so yeah, it's pretty exciting to see them here in the Cozy Cash Cup as a new team. And if we do see Atlanta Phoenix Guard going against Ego Death, it should be a pretty exciting and close game. And after that, after this first game, we will be following the loser side bracket. We will be going to losers round 3 or losers semifinals. And then after that, we will be watching losers finals. And then finally, we will watch grand finals here. Should be a pretty exciting set of matches coming up for this Cozy Cash Cup.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what these teams what they bring to the table, especially if they're going to utilize Blade at all. Because don't forget, we have Blade as well with the mid-season patch. His anti-heal is going to be really interesting to use, and also don't forget about our new team ups as well.
Yeah,
Mancy, what sort of new team ups do we have?
Yeah, we got some pretty exciting new team ups here. I'll swap over to this tab and you guys can take a little bit of a look at it. And if we're talking about new team ups, we got some pretty impactful ones. Duality Dance between Adam Warlock and Luna Snow gives Luna Snow a new team up ability that allows her to link to enemies and heal off of her auto attacks when she attacks those enemies. It should be pretty impactful as Luna Snow is always a popular meta pick, and Adam Warlock, with his substantial amount of buffs coming into this mid-season, should be a pretty interesting and impactful team up should teams would like to pick up Adam Warlock. In contrast, we do have Vibrant Vitality, which has Mantis as the team up anchor. So she won't be getting a team up ability, however, the team up abilities from Loki and Groot are quite impactful. Loki will have his regeneration domain slightly larger, as well as having it grant a damage bonus, which should be pretty impactful, especially since how popular Loki is in general. And it'll be pretty curious to see if teams will pick up Mantis just for this team up. And as well as Groot, we'll talk about it a little bit. It's a bit simpler. His walls, the ones that deal damage, now also heal a decently substantial amount, especially since you can have 3 of them out at a time. So it should be pretty interesting to see how teams build around it, or if they just want to ban it to not play against it. Yeah, talking a little bit more about the removed team-ups, I don't think there's anything particularly substantial outside of the Guardians Revival team-up being removed, which is one of the primary team compositions, the res comp as people like to call it, that people primarily ran. So it's curious to see how Adam Warlock will kind of fall throughout this meta, especially since he did get a substantial amount of buffs, but one of his strongest team-ups did get removed. Yeah, and I think some of the more changed team-ups aren't as substantial here. But yeah, we can take a little bit of a look here at the balance changes from this mid-season patch that happened yesterday. So it should be a pretty fresh games for these players, because I'm not sure there'll be many tournaments that are happening that will have this new patch. I think the current Marvel Ignite tournament, which should be happening during this tournament, ironically, will not be running on this the newest patch. I think they are currently running on the Season 3 patch, the latest Season 3 patch. So it should be interesting to see how teams kind of approach this new character Blade, as well as all these new team-ups. Is there anything that you're particularly curious or excited by, especially team-up-wise, Muff?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited by the idea of the Wolverine nerf with the not gaining your ultimate through the lifesteal anymore. I'm curious to see how he's going to fall in team comps, because last Cash Cup we saw him utilize kind of as like a ace up the sleeve, right? Like teams were utilizing him with the Thing team up, and they were just able to make a lot of noise and dive into the front lines really quickly and shake things up. So curious to see how he's going to fall into team comp. The Magneto nerf, I don't really see it too much as a nerf. I still think we're going to see him utilized and picked a lot more. I'm curious to see about how teams are going to use Thor with that mid buff that he got.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a pretty substantial buff. I'm not sure if it will affect his viability in organized play, but especially in ranks. The primary changes were his awakened form now grants him 1 Thor Force at the end of the cast, or like I guess a minimum of 1. So even if you cancel it early, you will get that 1 Thor Force. And his like Thunder Bubble that deals damage to enemies as they pass it will also ground enemies. So it helps him deal a little bit with those flyers. So it should be interesting to see how he'll fall in the meta. But if we're talking about organized play, which is something that we'll see a lot of today, I don't think he'll be particularly popular, but I did put him up in mid buff because I think those changes were quite substantial. Yeah, and I agree with you on the Magneto changes. I don't think it'll be particularly substantial, but it should be interesting to see how the meta kind of shakes up. I'm really excited to see if teams will run Star-Lord, personally, because he did get, I think it's 25 overheal for each cast of his right click or his like secondary fire, which like does the flip, reloads his gun, and makes him invulnerable for like half a second. So it should be interesting to see if he'll pan out to be a more substantial pick, especially since he lost that Guardians of the Galaxy team up, that Res Comp team up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he falls in the meta as well. I do miss seeing him utilized as hard as he was, back in Season 0 and Season 1. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Star-Lord falls in the mix.
Yeah, and I don't think we have the next map ready just yet, as we are waiting for the game. Actually, I'll show you guys. We are waiting for the game between Cafe Rose and Atlanta Phoenix Guard. It must be a very tense match here. I think there was a slight delay, so they had to take a pause because one of the players did disconnect. So we might be waiting here for a little bit. So after we finish up here, we will take a quick break, and then we'll get back to you guys when the game starts. So anything else you'd like to talk about, Muff, in terms of like the teams or like the meta as what we're expecting?
Yeah, with this new mid-season patch, I'm wondering where the meta is going to fall. I mean, it's funny, Luna continues to get more buffs, in my opinion. I know you have her rated as a small buff, but I think her team-up's going to actually prove to be one of the more broken team-ups in Marvel Rivals. And so it'll be fun to see where she falls. I also got to feel bad for the Mantis mains out there, where you had 20 shots previously and now you only have 15. And you're already a underutilized support. So it's just gonna be, I think this is gonna be a really fun mid-season. So it'll be really, really awesome to see how all of these pro teams end up utilizing all of the new matchups.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting here. I think something else, actually, a small note before we take a break here. I do want to talk a little bit about that small Cloak and Dagger nerf. It's a slight increase on the ultimate charge, but as we saw from the last Cozy Cash Cup, we saw a lot of teams substituting their like quote-unquote secondary or primary healing support for Cloak and Dagger, which is a bit weaker in terms of direct single target healing, but has a lot more AoE healing, as well as that really powerful ultimate that comes online slightly faster than a lot of these support ults, giving the team who picks the Cloak and Dagger a lot more tempo, but does make them a bit weaker to poke. I'm curious to see how this ultimate change will change Cloak and Dagger's place in the meta, whether she'll be this like alternative pick that teams use for that early tempo. I'm curious to see how it kind of pans out. We haven't really seen any organized play with Cloak and Dagger since this new patch came out, so that should be pretty interesting to see. And on that note, I think we'll be taking a quick break while we wait for the Cafe Rose versus Atlanta Phoenix Guard game to finish in Winners Round 2. We'll see you guys right back when the game is getting ready. Hey guys, welcome back. We should be back here. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to follow from the winners final side. We'll be following from the losers side. We'll be watching Ex Oblivione versus Phoenix Guard here, and we'll be on the map Empire of Eternal Night Central Park.
Eternal Night.
Yeah, Muff, you want to talk a little bit more about the map?
Yeah, this is one of the quintessential convergence maps in the game, and honestly, I think it's one of the most well-balanced maps in the game, in my personal opinion. I don't mean, I guess well-balanced is a really poor term. It's just a really great map for fighting. You have a lot of really open lanes. You have a lot of really like tight, closed choke points. It really makes each fight feel meaningful. Every fight is honestly going to dictate how the match plays out. And yeah, it's just, especially this first point, when you got to cap this point, things can get really crazy. I love to watch really creative teams come out the gate and do crazy movement tech. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting. I also really like the aesthetic of this map. It is quite nice. I believe it's like Dracula themed, and as you can see here, there's like that squirrel from Squirrel Girl. Related to Squirrel Girl, I think. I'm not a big lore expert here. But yeah, it should be pretty exciting to see how these teams are going to approach it. And I believe Ex Oblivione was the third place winner from the third place winner from the 7th Cozy Cash Cup, while Atlanta Phoenix Guard was the first place winner of the last Cozy Cash Cup. So it's exciting to see them watch them play again here in the loser side. I'm a little surprised to see, if we go back to the bracket here real fast. It is surprising to see Cafe Rose actually beat out Atlanta Phoenix Guard here in winners round 2. So I'm curious to see in the future a little bit more about Cafe Rose. And unfortunately, we couldn't get to watch the game here from winners finals, but we will be hopefully watching them in either grand, or we will actually be watching them in losers round 4, which is losers finals, or in grand finals. So that should be a pretty exciting game to watch as well.
Yeah, especially with Atlantic's Phoenix Guard, you know, they're down in the losers bracket right now, and not for nothing, I think I can see them swinging their way out of the bracket. But shout outs to Cafe Rose for swinging high and coming out on top. You know, Atlanta Phoenix Guard is a real esports team, and I honestly, yeah.
Yeah, and as we get into game here, we will be watching this draft, and there is 5 games on the top there, but it will be a best of 1. So it will be a pretty contested game here. It should be pretty exciting. We did see a lot of games on this map in the last few Cozy Cash Cups, so starting with this map should be pretty exciting for anyone who's watched the last few Cozy Cash Cups. And immediately we do see the Human Torch ban, and Human Torch was very strong in all of the matches that we watched in the last Cozy Cash Cup. So it is not surprising to see Ex Oblivione ban it immediately off the bat. Any thoughts on that ban here, Muff?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to shake things up for any of our viewers at home right now. As you mentioned, ooh, and a Luna Snow ban comes out. We'll touch on that in just a second. You know, last Cozy Cash Cup, we saw Human Torch basically in every single match that was played, and he was the difference maker. I would argue very heavily to say that he was the difference maker. So it's gonna be really fun to see what teams come out in terms of what their meta is going to be for this tournament. And right away we see that Luna Snow ban, and then we move into a Loki Protect, which I'd love to see. We're gonna get to see that that new regeneration, or what is it, the domain?
Regeneration.
I'm drawing a blank. Regeneration domain, yeah. And basically a rocket weapon boost as well, and it has a larger AOE radius, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, slightly, I think.
So it's just crazy, and I loved it. I love this ban. You know, you have Luna Snow, and then you have Captain America, which I think is actually kind of interesting. Cap isn't exactly somebody that I see as really strong on this map.
He is pretty strong in general right now, especially I think a lot of pro teams have increased their value of the character as the meta has kind of like developed. But going to this new patch, we do see this Emma Frost ban, we do see the Cap ban, so not a lot of tanks or vanguards left on the table here. And with Ultron protected, we may be seeing a triple support composition coming out here from the side of Phoenix Guard. I'm curious to see which 3 strategists they would like to pick if they were. There is no more res comp, so we will not be seeing that most likely. And with we do see Cloak and Dagger protected here from Ex Oblivione. We do know that a lot of teams do like using Cloak and Dagger on attack here. It's very powerful, especially on that first point, getting that early tempo. But with those ultimate nerfs, I'm curious to see how it'll pan out. And that Mantis ban does kind of allude that Exoblivione does understand that Phoenix Guard did want to kind of go for that triple support composition. So we'll see how it kind of pans out here.
Yeah, and I think it's anybody's guess as to who's going to be banned next. And we see the Hulk gets banned. That's an interesting ban. I feel like that might be a target ban.
Maybe, but it could just be they don't want to deal with the Namor team up. Namor being quite good can put those monstros, especially that Gamma monstro, that team up monstro, on the high ground. Be quite annoying, especially going into that first choke point, which is only just one gigantic choke point, unless you can fly to get around. And it's curious to see how teams will do it. We do see Etsu and Ash. I think they were the team that actually did the thing where they threw Wolverine and they had the thing jump to him so they could go around the flank. And looking at the characters here, I'm curious to see if that is also the kind of plan that they do want to follow here. And on the side of Phoenix Guard, we do have a bit more of a standard defensive comp with that triple support as we're talking about earlier, although I think it is just for the beacon. Yeah, for that Wolverine. He's going to try to get that jetpack. On the side of Exoblivione, they're doing, I think, the exact same thing here with Closar on the rocket. Yep, and he was shooting that jetpack. So both teams do understand the mission here, which is to get Wolverine to scoop up one of those tanks, and I'm curious to see if Phoenix Guard is at a slight disadvantage with Odin here on the Groot, a lot more susceptible to that Wolverine.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Odin potentially struggle here if they don't have a game plan, and the gates are open, so we're going to see what happens. Both teams are out the gate pretty strong.
Yeah, we see here both Wolverines kind of just sharking around for a pick. We do see the thing probably gonna pull over Etsu to the side here, so we'll see how this flank kind of plans out. Straight behind, does he get through? Oh, immediately into the Groot. That is a big pick here over the top, but Magneto Bubble does keep him alive. Can he get out? He's gonna break that side door to try to walk away. We do see
Odin in the corner.
Yeah, I think Odin is going to lose this, and while we're talking, unfortunately, Phoenix Guard does end up getting picked. I think it was Blaziken finding a lot of value on this Phoenix here initially. And a pretty clean, oh yeah, you're good.
Exoblivione is just out to a really powerful start here, just showcasing a really great understanding of this composition. And, oh, and you see a Doctor Strange portal come out. This is desperation. Both teams are now slugging it out on the point. It's anybody's match.
Yeah, directly on the point here, we do see a nice pick there from Missouri going on to live set there. The Wolverine from the side of Phoenix Guard, unfortunately. They're going to lose that main DPS, and Phoenix Guard just going to kind of all die on point, just stall it for as much time as possible. It's going to be left to unread to keep as much time left, but nope, that's not too much, and that is another clean fight there from Exoblivione.
Yeah, it's just absolutely one-sided, you know, in both fights. At the moment, it just seems like Exoblivione is the clear contender for taking home the dub here. Let's see how Phoenix Guard can respond. Both teams setting up right now, and we're looking. Ash is looking to throw Etsu just straight caution to the wind.
Yeah, Lucid did actually swap off the Wolverine here onto the Punisher, a little bit more consistent. Oh, nice grab there from Etsu off the side. That is a nice pick.
Great pick. Great presence of mind.
Yeah, unfortunately, while I was talking about that, we did see Etsu get two more with that last stand on the Wolverine and gonna chase down as much as they can get here, but Odin gonna jump away. Gonna be quite nice there. We're gonna see Etsu again abusing this team up with the thing. We'll have to see how effective it can be. I'm not sure if Phoenix Guard is gonna be able to walk out to point. They do have quite a few ultimates. Let's see if Starkey wants to engage with his own initially. Oh, nice dodge there. Etsu not finding anything.
Thing old. Ultimate, and then it's going out. Is that going to be enough? Etsu gets picked off.
Yeah, let's see.
Magneto bomb.
Yeah, nothing.
Doesn't get anything for it.
Yeah, start looking for his own. Doesn't get too much. Actually gets two, followed up by Wolves. And that should be enough to actually claim the fight there. Very, pretty good execution. I'm surprised how effective that Phoenix ult was, but I think it was mostly the early follow-up from the side of Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, I also think it was Wasp, the Cloak and Dagger ult as well, was actually a really big, like, basically just a constant dot. That was damage that Exoblivione wasn't really accounting for. And paired with Starkey's ultimate, that was really crisp, really clean.
Yeah, and as both teams kind of reset to neutral here, we do see Phoenix Guard with a slight positional advantage, using that high ground whip. Lives that actually swapped over to this Ultron here, gonna use his ult immediately. Probably not gonna get a lot, but a lot of tempo. Gonna push Exoblione back to the next corner. And they actually get closer here, but I think that was just an initial pick before that Ultron ultimate.
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in right now. Both teams are slugging it out. Neither team really wants to kind of give an inch to each other, you know. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think Ash here gonna go here for the clobbering time. Oh, immediately gets stunned. It gets canceled. So we didn't even hear the ultimate come out, but here comes Odin. Maybe he has his own. Both of these Eternal Bonds coming out from both teams. That is the Cloak and Dagger ultimate. We do see the copy here. Here's the first Eternal Bond from the Sun Exoblione. We do see Phoenix Guard lost lives at the beginning. No more Ultron. Here comes Odin with this clobbering time trying to equalize the odds here. Not enough damage to get through. Will Llama commit his own ultimate? Here goes Meteor M. Can he get one of the supports here? But that's a lot of blocking. That's one.
He says,
that's good
hold
enough.
this! Oh, it picks off the Loki. That was huge.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does look like Phoenix Guard is going to get the short end of that fight. Maybe a bit of an overextension by Llama, but I mean, it was a good-looking Meteor M, if anything is to be concerned then.
Dude, that was beautiful. That looked like a drawn-up quarterback play. Just said, "Hey, go long, catch."
Yeah, nice play there from Llama. But again, maybe a bit too much of a commitment. We see Exoblione having an extra ult. Here comes the last stand here, gonna pull that Magneto way out of position. And here he goes back in. Etsu actually doesn't have his lead. Maybe a bit of an overextension. Does end up losing his passive, but yeah, it does look like Exoblione. Yeah, I think they're gonna lose this corner here. But yeah, Ludus gonna commit this Ultron ultimate to prevent it. Missouri immediately pops that Meteor M traded for nothing, unfortunately.
Oh, and Odin gets picked off right there by Misery. This is going to be a huge Cloak and Dagger roll. Let's see if Wasp is able to get some kind of value out of it. Manages to get some space onto the point, and then we see a counter Cloak and Dagger Eternal Bond go out from Skate. That is a Loki ultimate as well, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of defensive ultimates off the table, and now Phoenix Guard here having two offensive ultimates advantage, so they will have a little bit of extra firepower coming into this next fight. And yeah, we're not really seeing too much committed here, but we're seeing a lot of small picks, mostly just strategists going out. Here comes out another Eternal Bond as Blaziken kind of full commits here on Wasp. Ends up getting it for free unredded, maybe a little bit out of position to keep Wasp alive there. Oh, again, Odin getting his ultimate canceled. That's really unfortunate. A lot of these clobbering times getting clobbered, as you could say.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate, but it's like the timing is so great from Exoblione. They are all dialed in. But Phoenix Guard is also saying, wait, it's not over. Hold my drink. We're still in this just as much. And then you see a huge Magneto bomb from Misery go out onto Iset.
Yeah, just denying that Ultron ult, denying that tempo is really important here, and I think immediately we're gonna see this Meteor M from Llama probably find a lot of value. Yeah, that's a big dunk straight on Misery. Good trade there.
Oh, Magneto diff right there. Llama said, hey, if you haven't heard about me, ask about me. You know about me now. Odin is getting in the mix too. He's just staying there and crawling, trying to get that cheeky little that knockdown on the Doctor Strange there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too far. Odin loses with 1 HP, and we do see here from the side of Exoblione gonna commit to this Eternal Bond here in a second. Waz also gonna match that with his own, and a lot of offensive ultimates from Exoblione. So we'll see how good Phoenix Guard can hold off here. Here comes the Eye of Agamotto here from Ash. Does get only one inside the Eternal Bond, so that's nothing, unfortunately. Let's see if Exoblione wants to commit anything more. Etsu here comes out with the Punisher ultimate. Last Judgment. Let's see if he can judge the side of Phoenix Guard. Odin gonna clobbering time, but doesn't really get too much here. We do see this Punisher ultimate finding a lot of value, but Eternal Bond's still gonna keep everyone alive here.
Both teams' healers are absolutely doing some crazy work right now. I don't know how both teams are still in it. You see these little picks. Okay, and now you see a double pick from Exoblione. Odin and Wasp goes down. This is huge. This could be exactly what Exoblione needs to get the finish. Can they get the pick off? Can they send Unread back to the spawn? And they do. They manage to. That's a huge stagger. I think that this might be over right here, boys.
Yeah, Blaziken did trade for 2 kills, especially in that side room is really impactful. Only 1 strategist, 1 tank, 1 DPS left on the board. And as this defensive ultimate from Exoblione comes out one more time, there's nothing to match from Phoenix Guard. And I don't even know if they can get onto the point. They just get melted as they walk up. Ash just going to hard commit that Eye of Agamotto on 1. It's going to be hopefully good enough here to finish.
And Exoblione gets it done. 3-0. but not without a huge fight. That final team fight there at the end was crazy. I mean, both teams didn't want to give an inch to each other again. It was just back and forth, just little picks until finally Exoblivione managed to get that double on, I believe it was Wafts and I've set, and that just kind of opened up the door for the rest of the team to kind of go in and get their picks and clean it up.
Yeah, I think especially there, we did see both teams kind of swap off of the Wolverine pretty early. I was a little bit surprised. I think it was Livset and Etsu on the Wolverine, and they both kind of swapped the Punisher pretty quickly. I think for Etsu, he did stay on that Wolverine a little longer because they had a lot of success on those first 2 points, but swapping with the Punisher immediately after it stopped working, maybe they felt the impact of those nerfs. That lack of healing from that team up with that Jean Grey, that Phoenix. So I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to pan out, because we didn't really see that many Wolverine ults. Maybe 2, I think, from Etsu, and I don't even think we saw 1 from the side of Phoenix Guard, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, looking at the side of both teams, actually, we see a pretty similar composition. A little bit different. Livset here going to be on the Storm, while Etsu is going to be on this Wolverine. And what that means is Livset's just going to look for a lot of strong ultimates to get those support ultimates out, while Etsu is just going to try to barrel straight through them. So we'll have to see how it kind of pans out here. Which team, the slow and the steady or the fast and the furious, will kind of come out here.
Yeah, it all comes down to this: which team is going home early? You know, is it going to be last month's champions in Phoenix Guard, or is it going to be Exoblivione? It really could go either way.
Yeah, a lot of abilities coming out, mostly just trading ult charge here. Blaziken charging up pretty quickly, while Llamas from the side of Phoenix Guard also charging his ult pretty quickly. So that'll be the first offensive ult we'll kind of see. Although Missouri is matching the side of Llamas, so maybe it's just they're feeding as much ult charge into Unredded, because he's going to have his ult incredibly fast. The first defensive ult here, really impactful. We do see that Cloak of Dagger going to that back area, usually pretty quickly. So we'll have to watch which team wants to commit their offensive or defensive ultimates early.
Yeah, Blaziken here looking to get lots of AoE damage off as Phoenix Guard is grouped up over there in that little choke point.
Yeah, Etsu finds a pick, but the Magneto Bubble keeps him alive, combined with that Regeneration Domain, so 2 cooldowns there, down for the side of Phoenix Guard. But I think Exoblivione did match with their own defensive Regeneration Domain, but here comes out that Phoenix ult, not a lot. Yeah, Unredded, again, going for that back alleyway. Oh, immediately followed up by... yeah, SK, a lot of ultimates. Starkey gonna use that Phoenix ult, gets nothing. Let's see if Odin wants to commit Eye of Agamotto here, or maybe he gets stunned out. Ooh, SK8 finds a good pick there on the side of Livset, so no more Storm. That's pretty impactful. That's one of their strong defensive ultimates gone.
That's big. Odin staying here in the mix. Manages to get a lot of damage off Starkey. Picks off Ash. Misery goes down. No, yeah. Ash goes down. Misery stays up. Sorry.
Oh, gonna have to force the ultimate out from Exoblivione. Immediately, Livset gets completely just balled onto there by the rest of Exoblivione, and I think that's going super deep. There goes last stand. Immediate pick there onto 2. Gonna be a nice cleanup there.
Yeah, Exoblivione just absolutely shredding right now. They are also leading the ult management here as well. Blaziken, Misery, and Ash, all 3 have their ults. They can get really creative and mixy here. Meanwhile, we have 2 tank ults right now. We're going to see if Llama is even able to get anything out of it. I'm sure they're trying to dial up a play for that right now.
Yeah, Phoenix, they stalled off long enough just to get ultimates, and here comes out Misery, gonna try to snipe one of the strategists with his ultimate. Oh, that Magneto Bubble a little bit too early, doesn't end up getting anything. Llama gets pulled in, doesn't want to commit anything, dies immediately. I think Phoenix Guard is just gonna lose this fight pretty handily. Here goes that Phoenix ult, follows straight onto the face of Wolves there, very unfortunate, and that's a lot of ultimates for Exoblivione. Phoenix Guard recognizing they're gonna lose the fight and immediately deciding to just not commit and reset.
Yeah, we've got maybe one really strong team fight here. This is going to be everything that Phoenix Guard has got. Otherwise, they're going home early. I'm sure they don't want to do that, so get ready, folks. Buckle up. This is going to get crazy.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch, as neither team has any defensive ultimates, so it's just going to be a huge amount of damage coming out. Livset actually swapped back to the Wolverine. Maybe we'll see if he can get an important pick here, but trying to get onto the thing, that's not going to be super effective. And unfortunately, I think Phoenix Guard is going to kind of stall themselves out here. Waited a little bit too long, and now there's defensive ults from Exoblivione. Nice grab there from Etsu. Gonna try to maul that Magneto, but does end up barely getting out alive, although a lot of cooldowns down. And yeah, a lot of ultimates from both teams coming up again. So maybe Phoenix Guard waited a little too long.
Yeah, immediately you see both Cloak and Dagger ults go up. Llama manages to push out Clozar. Blaziken goes down. Etsu goes down. This could be the opportunity Phoenix Guard needed to put the to keep the match going. Oh my goodness, and Misery goes down too. We've only got 2 left on point, stalling right now. We got a Doctor Strange portal going out.
Yeah, they are going to be able to touch here, so there'll be one more contest here. We do see a Misery on the point. Here comes out the Meteor M. Let's see if we can get anything. Kind of aiming at the tanks, but almost gets one, but nice regeneration domain. Does block it. I think Phoenix Guard's in a really good spot here. They're going to have covering time coming up here in a second. Onto 2 Strategists. Probably going to be enough to finish. That's probably going to be 1, but does keep each other alive. Playing Patty Kick in the backline for Exablione. Lives it. Going to swap to Ultron very fast. Going to get this ultimate. Very effective at pushing the tempo, and I think as Exablione kind of loses this point, I think Phoenix Guard is going to come out on top.
Well done, Phoenix Guard. It's not over yet. That was incredible to watch. Great response, great rally, believing in your teammates, believing in your ultimate management, saying, hey, look, we're the professionals around here as well. Don't forget about us.
Yeah,
and now we have a fight on our hands.
Maybe a bit of a messy fight. I think they ended up having to swap to that triple strategist. Lives it, swapping the Ultron a little bit like later in the fight so that he can get that ultimate incredibly quickly, maybe provide a little bit more value. And I think that was one of the big difference makers going into that last fight. But now on triple strategist might be a little bit dangerous. They're almost dying there. Lives it, that would have been a pretty important pick for Exablione. They could have stalled them an extra minute here. And as Blaziken backs up, they're going to lose this high ground, so Phoenix Guard is coming into here with a small positional advantage. But Odin going to try to contest it as well. Going to jump back on point as Unredded gets kind of chunked out. And Phoenix Guard is going to kind of fall here, I think, to Exablione's pressure. They're going to maybe commit some ultimates. Ash, you got to do something here. Ooh, very, very high damage. And Odin gets picked as well, doesn't jump back. Yeah, so Phoenix Guard going to be stalled out here for a little bit. Here goes Etsu. Let's see what we can get. Immediately on the back line. What's that? That's Phoenix. Immediate Cloak and Dagger. Cloak out there. But still gets Starkey. And I guess Etsu just going super deep. Maybe a little too deep.
Yeah, Etsu might have just got caught up there for a second too after trying to get that cheeky little play. Misery takes out Undead, and Levset is trying to get in, get health, and get reset, and manages to get in there.
Yeah, actually, Etsu ended up living there. I think Misery commits the ult to keep him alive and get an extra pick there. Feels very good for Exablione. Although maybe a bit too much of an ultimate commitment, but keeping this extra space is really impactful. Let's see if they can get one pick as they try to come out with this small choke here. Etsu going a little too deep. Starkey getting that free kill. And down 1 player and down 2 ultimates. I think Phoenix Guard will be able to break Exablione. Let's see if they want to commit on the point or if they're just going to back up here.
Yeah, Ash building up things as well. And we still have Clozar with the Cloak and Dagger ultimate and Blaziken as well. I do believe that we're about to see. Yep, there goes Clozar. Just popped his Eternal Bond.
Oh, Mama goes deep. That is a nice Magneto.
Tom Brady. Oh, and that's a huge triple. Huge triple. Phoenix Guard is just absolutely burying Exablione right now. And they're leading the ultimate management.
An incredible amount of value. I think those Wobbs on the thing. I think he swapped over the thing to get the thing. Or I heard a thing. Oh no, that was Ash. Unfortunately, it must have whipped on quite a few people because Odin still has his. On the side, you're gonna look for a cheeky play. This might actually be the deciding factor here if Exablione does not sniff this out. Oh, actually, Odin going a little early. Maybe a little bit spooked. Maybe he saw that rotation and wanted to back up. So we're gonna have to see how it kind of pans out. Gonna jump straight to the back here.
Yeah, Blaziken in the back line too.
Yeah, Blaziken going super deep here, kind of 1v1ing on his own. Here goes the Phoenix Guard to keep himself alive, maybe get a pick, that's nothing. A lot of defensive ultimates here coming out from Phoenix Guard. They got nothing left after this. Odin, clobbering time, gonna get 2, but inside of that Eternal Bond, gonna stay alive. Etsu still has last stand. Is he gonna try to pull someone out? Gonna try to get both of the backline? That's 2. Is that gonna be enough? Yep, combined there with Misery's Meteor M, incredible.
That was so huge. That was great teamwork. Good call outs from Exablione right there. Oh, goodness. This is high-level Marvel Rivals, folks.
Okay, yeah, and I was gonna say that should be the end there, but Livset's staying alive there a little bit longer than I expected, like 5 or 6 seconds longer. And yeah, that was an incredible high-level game there of Marvel Rivals. Yeah, pretty excellent though.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gobsmacked right now at the presence of mind of both teams to be able to respond to each other in the way that they did. You know, I don't think that the score is really reflective of the skill that was showcased in this match. Both teams were just really incredible to watch. Watching Etsu and Ash and Misery, the three of them play off of each other was really great to watch. Skate just constantly making great transformation plays with Loki's ultimate. Also being Johnny on the spot with his regeneration domains. And then on the opposite side of the fence, you have Odin, you have Llama, who basically is a quarterback playing, tank in Marvel Rivals. It's just crazy to watch.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty incredible play from both teams. I think from the side of Ex Oblivione, they were a little bit more cohesive, which may have been the reason they were a bit more effective. And especially, I think their tempo was just a little bit better in general. They were winning a lot more of these fights through these small picks rather than just through straight ultimates. I think there were a few times they were down ultimates, but they could stall long enough to get their own ultimates back, at least a few ultimates, so that they can stall the fight a bit, you know? I think that was a pretty incredible play from both teams there.
Yeah, that was awesome. I can't say that enough. That was fun to watch. Shout outs to both teams. Shout outs to Ex Oblivione moving forward, and you're going to be competing up against Monkey. And kudos to Atlanta Phoenix Guard for showing up. That was last Cozy vs. Cash Cups champion. I fully expect to see them return, and it'll be fun to watch their come up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this next game between Ex Oblivione versus Monkey. Monkey getting knocked out similarly in winners round 2, so it should be pretty exciting to see Ex Oblivione versus Monkey here, and we'll be getting into this match in a little bit here. Yeah, I'll have to get invited to that game in a second. And yeah, thank you again to Atlanta Phoenix Guard for coming out to today's Cozy Cash Cup, and I'm excited to keep watching Ex Oblivione in this next game. So anything else you'd like to add, Muff, before we go to a quick break while we wait for these teams to set up?
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. This is some really high-level Marvel Rivals play. If you're looking to study what the pros are doing, if you're looking to see what the newer metas are, because we're probably we're getting a little mixy here, so don't go nowhere.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, we're back with the Cozy Cash Cup here. We'll be watching Ex Oblivione versus Monkey here in Losers Round 3 or Losers Semi-Finals. So yeah, we'll be getting into the game real fast. Let's talk a little bit more about the map. If you want to talk a little bit about it, Muff here.
Yeah, this is a great map. This is actually a really strong map. Both teams are going to come out swinging. It's really interesting which iteration of Burning T'Challa you're going to get. I think the first iteration that we just saw is going to be a rough one, and then yeah, I just think that these domination maps are crazy. You tend to see these long drawn out team fights, so you end up like, you know, you got a 5-minute match and you get like 2 really crazy team fights out of it, you know, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, let's get into the game here. The first 2 bans, we do see the Wolverine and Magneto ban. Not the most surprising, but should be very interesting because we saw both of those characters in the last match here. Anything you want to talk about here, Muff, that you find interesting about these first 2 bans and the Human Torch Protect?
Yeah, right off rip, we see Magneto gets banned, and I think that's pretty strong for both teams. In particular, we know that Ex Oblivion is going to, with Misery, he's a very strong Magneto player, and then you also know that Etsu is a very strong Wolverine player. So both teams are actually Monkey knowing right off rip that their opponent is, you know, what their strengths and what their weaknesses are.
Ooh, saving the Ultron there. Again, maybe trying to keep that triple strategy open here. I'm a little curious to see, but banning the Loki, that's a pretty strong, I would say, like, anchor strategist, something that you really kind of build your comp around, is gone for both teams here. And with the Luna Snow ban, that's 2 of the strongest strategists gone from the hero pools for both teams here. So I'm curious to see how Monkey and Ex Oblivion want to keep it. I think they're going to protect the Cloak and Dagger. I don't see why they would ban it, but maybe they want to protect something a bit more spicy. Maybe they want to protect the tank here. Yeah, I was going to say Captain America might not be the worst protection here.
Yeah, I think it's anybody's guess with this last protect here. Like you said,
Ooh,
it might
Mantis.
be the Cloak and Dagger, but now we see a Mantis come out. We might actually get to see that new Mantis team up come out.
Yeah, but they banned Loki, so it's just going to be with it's going to be
you're right, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be Groot. So it's just going to be Mantis Groot, or they want to do the no, actually that's pretty much it. It's just going to be Mantis Groot. I'm curious to see if Monkey will ban Groot here to match. Especially since they kept Captain America. Maybe they're trying to force Monkey here to ban Groot. Maybe they don't want to do it. Okay, no, they banned the Emma Frost. Very standard ban here. Yeah, especially since they kept that Captain America, it makes a lot of sense they want to ban the Emma Frost, because Emma Frost quite good into characters that can dive or move around very fast. That choke slam that she has can be quite effective at instantly shutting down a Captain America. And with the Psylocke ban from Ex Oblivione, I'm curious to see. I know why they banned the Psylocke, because Psylocke is quite strong into strategists, and if you're going to be running like a triple strategist composition, it is good to get that off the table. And looking at both teams, oh, very interesting here. Irresistible here on the Penny. I'm curious to see if that's actually going to be a pick, or maybe they're just going to have the Rocket at the beginning with that team up. But I think it actually is just going to be a Penny here. I'm curious to see it because I've never seen a Penny here in organized play in the Cozy Cash Cup. And Ex Oblivione actually doing the Rocket thing I was talking about. So yeah, it should be pretty interesting to see how both teams want to approach this first point. This first point here, basically all indoors, but with a very high ceiling. And the side lane is a bit far from the main fight, connected by a single choked doorway. So I'm curious to see if Monkey wants to kind of set up on that side lane, or if they're just going to go straight to the point and try to set up there. Oh, Bowie actually on Blade. Very late swap here. Oh, never mind. Going to go back to getting baited here a little bit. Okay, immediate strange there, portal there from the side of Monkey. Oh, okay, I like this. I know that both teams like to scout each other out with the strange portals. I think both teams did see the strange portal. Yeah, see? Right behind the other strange here. Oh, yeah. The little mind games that both teams kind of have here. Monkey getting kind of caught off guard, immediately losing their own strange portal and their positioning here. Ex Oblivione gonna get to point first, gonna have to swap off that Penny, immediately goes to the thing there, wearing the Thong skin, which should be pretty exciting to see as well. But Ex Oblivione gonna get that early tempo there with the triple strategist, should be able to buy a lot of time.
Okay, this guy.
But really, that was crazy. That was freaking awesome to watch. Like you said, with the mind games playing between both Doctor Stranges, we see a lot of damage going out too right off rip, and Etsu trying to stay alive, staying mixy. You just have people everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of flyers here from in the match, and it looks like Blaziken is kind of winning this Human Torch war here, living up to his name as being on fire. And oh, first pick they're going for Misery, gonna swap or gonna trade with Foe. Actually, actually gonna stay alive here. Gets back to his team just in time.
Ultimate.
Yeah, Etsu actually finds.
Ultimate.
No, I think they actually wanted to fight pretty solidly there. I don't know if they had to commit anything. Actually, very clean fight there from Exoblivione. They got almost picked apart there by Monkey, but was able to win those individual fights and kind of make out like bandits with that triple strategist opener.
Yeah, that was awesome to watch. Everybody basically just walked into the room and everybody picked one-on-ones and just took it.
Here comes that Ultron ult. Not going to get a lot because of all the survivability. Sangus can actually get a match with his own strategist ultimate. Etsu getting kind of caught off guard and immediately picked off. But that's a big commitment. Not going to be able to push in. Here comes Blaziken with that ultimate from Johnny. Warmage going to actually ult onto point here with the Eternal Bond. Immediately matched by Klosar. Both Eternal Bonds are on point. I think Klosar has a little bit of a bigger ultimate. Irresistible actually going to immediately knock up SK8. Going to get him out of the fight immediately. Conan going to match it with his own ultimate. And that's a really, really nice ultimate combination there from Exoblivione. Oh, sorry, from Monkey on Exoblivione.
That was a great response from Monkey. I mean, Monkey just walked in and just said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, they really leveraged their offensive ultimate capability. Only having two defensive ultimates, they have one more offensive ultimate, and that was really the big difference maker in that fight. And here comes out Yakora with his extra tempo that they get. That they're actually going to try to keep Monkey a little bit farther, or sorry, going to keep Exoblivione a little farther back, but Monkey actually going to get pushed back themselves. Going to have to commit that Ultron ult, losing War Mage early. Ash going super, super deep there.
Yeah, it looks like Monkey wasn't able to get properly reset and together for that last team fight right there, and they kind of got punished for it. Exoblivione seized the opportunity, and now we see Exoblivione is actually handily winning the ultimate war right now. Misery's got a Doctor Strange ult. Oh, he's interesting pick. I like it with the Venom choice, but I don't know that he's even going to make any sort of difference. Ends up getting sent back to the spawn.
Yeah, tries to touch there, but kind of messed up the rollout a little bit, and they're just diving on point trying to touch here. Unfortunately, they're all just getting picked off one by one at Exoblivione, but not really doing anything and winning by doing nothing. I mean, an incredible play there from Exoblivione. That early tempo they got from winning that first Doctor Strange engagement kind of snowballed into this situation where they just win that last fight by default.
Yeah, I can't get over that first play where Exoblivione just was able to catch Monkey off guard and with the Doctor Strange portal. That was just really fun to watch.
Yeah, that double little mini chess match.
Like that.
Yeah, the true Doctor Strange 1v1 there, right? It's pretty exciting to see both of these strangers being so liberal with their portal usage. Most people like to save it so that they can get back and get maybe one extra fight throughout a domination match, but both teams committing it immediately to get that early advantage, both for scouting and for maybe just getting that strange early. Exoblivione really showing off an impressive look here. Let's see if Misery and Conan want to do the exact same thing. I think Conan might just go for a more normal start, but no, actually gonna use the portal as well. Let's see, Misery gonna follow with his own, but as we see Blaziken, oh, never mind, going back to his team. Oh, Misery actually just gonna go for the normal fast range portal, as is Conan. And actually, going on to the side lane here, I think Exoblivione has a slight positional advantage being on this high ground. Oh, Misery gets two there. Incredible pick there with the dives with Blaziken. That's actually going to be a fight-winning picks there. Maybe a little bit too fast there from the side of Monkey.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Monkey going out but not spreading out. And as we saw Exoblivione, as they came out the portal, they flooded out onto point so that they wouldn't get knocked by the same play. And unfortunately, Monkey just gonna lose that first fight, barely getting any ult charge, while Exoblivione probably getting quite a bit of their own, as they are up 2 ultimates to none, although Exoblivione now 3 ults to 2, maybe 3. But here comes out Supernova from Blaziken, getting a first immediate pick on Foe. No more contest here for the side of Monkey to deal with this Blaziken. And yeah, sure.
Sit in that back line and eat.
Yeah, and I mean, like, sure, Monkey almost got to point, but they're just too far behind. There's nothing left for their team, no more backline, so that front line just falls apart.
Yeah, and they're trickling into, they really need to group up here.
Yeah, they do have a lot of ultimates coming up here, but can they even get to the point? 42%. By the time they get to point, it's already going to be about 60-70%. And then they have to fight. And this might be their last fight here. Yeah, here comes out Ash with his Captain America ult, that Freedom Charge, gonna push them back again, gonna stall them out for even more time. Sengus King gonna use that invisible boundary, and Yakura actually gonna commit his own ultimate as well. A lot of offensive ultimates from Monkey getting committed. SK8 gonna try to back up with his team, use that speed boost from the ultimate to keep them alive. Here comes out Final Judgment, only really catching out Doctor Strange, and that is an unfortunate loss for Exoblivione, but 3 strategists, there's Ultron ult still pushing through. They're going to be able to stall for quite a long time. Look at that, 70% on the clock here. Foey, no more ultimates left from inside Exoblivione. Misery doesn't have Portal, not going to be able to get back here. And okay, actually, Exoblivione going to give it to the point easier than I thought. I thought they're going to all try to die on point and just stall as long as they can. But going to stay alive here. Going to get maybe two fights early.
Yeah, we might actually get 2 really good fights out of this. I really do think Monkey has an opportunity here to make a statement, and they really need to dig their heels in the dirt and stand 10 toes and fight this out.
Oh, but look at Blaziken. Immediate pick there on the Punisher.
Oh!
Really nice dive.
Man, that was big. Cannon gets nothing with his Eye of Agamotto. Meanwhile,
Misery catching one.
With his.
Yeah, and he's almost gonna go down here, but gonna barely stay alive. Blaziken again just putting so much pressure on the backline of Monkey. So much so that the thing all of a sudden became the backline of Monkey, and that's not really a great look. As here comes out Supernova, that's gonna be it. I think no more strategists. It's just gonna be one Punisher against the world. Maybe Yakor here on the Human Torch. No, I think that's it. I mean, they get one more fight here, Exoblivione. They're probably gonna have a portal here from Kakonan. Or Kakana?
With no ultimates to commit either, they're going to have to win this team battle decisively. Can they do it? They got 10%.
Yeah, Kakana trying to put a portal, but it's going to get knocked around by the side of Monkey. Oh, gets knocked out of the portal. That should be it. There's nothing left. Is there anyone who can even touch?
And that's the ball game, folks.
Wow, an incredible macro play there from the side of Exoblivione. I'm actually really surprised to see the decisiveness they had there. Monkey didn't really stand a chance. Especially just those macro decisions. Blaziken going on the flank multiple times. Finding those big picks early.
Yeah, Blaziken being an absolute nuisance in that back line. Just always finding ways to get back there, get through the front line, and just constantly cause chaos. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, and the scoreboard kind of reflects it. Blaziken running a one-man show, not too unlike Johnny from the Human Torch here. I mean, 31-1, a very impressive stat line, highest damage in the game, a lot of final hits. I think maybe the ultimate's not as impactful overall, but the overall play from Blaziken, very impressive. And this triple strategist comp, look at the damage from Etsu, actually damaging all of the players from the side of Monkey. So just an excellent play overall from Exoblivione. Does bring them here into the loser side finals as we take a look at the bracket.
Yeah, let's see, who are they facing? Cafe Rose, we have ourselves a nice little battle here. Cafe Rose, of course, being the ones that took out Atlanta Phoenix Guard and sent them into the losers bracket, ultimately sending them in onwards through their destiny to go back home. So which team is going to pull it out? Is it going to be Exoblivion, or is it going to be Cafe Rose moving on into the winners finals?
Yeah, the grand finals, it's either going to be Cafe Rose or Exoblivione here going against Ego Death, but we will be watching the loser side finals from Cafe Rose versus Exoblivione. I'm curious to see how well Cafe Rose can hold up against Exoblivione, considering that Ego Death did have Exoblivione's number in this first in the first winners side round 1. So it should be exciting to see, because if either team wins, it should be an interesting story, as Exoblivione, if they win this loser side finals, they'll be facing Ego Death for that run back from winners round 1, and if not, it'll be Cafe Rose versus Ego Death, who are both actually winning on their side of the bracket in a run back of winner side finals. So we'll have to see if Exoblivione, or how well Exoblivione does against Cafe Rose, and looking at the last 2 games, they were showing a very dominant performance.
Yeah, we've got adversity, we've got hardships, we've
Oh, there we
got
got the update.
excitement. Yeah, here, we're back. We're back. We've got excitement. We've got it all here at the Cozy Cash Cup. Make sure you guys stick around. Don't want to miss out on any of this.
Yeah, and before we head out, thank you again to Monkey for showing up for the Cozy Cash Cup, as well as all the teams that have already been eliminated, which is PN, Disconnected Esports, KE, Mystics, and Atlanta Phoenix Guard, as well as Monkey, as I said earlier. Yeah, thank you guys all for coming out to the Cozy Cash Cup, the ninth Cozy Cash Cup, and I hope to see you guys again for another Marvel Rivals Cozy Cash Cup. We really can't do it without you guys, so thank you guys for coming out tonight. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a little bit for the next game, which is Losers Finals, Cafe Rose versus X of Leone. Hey guys, welcome back to the Cozy Cash Cup. We have this next game here for you. The losers finals here between Cafe Rose and Ex Oblivione. We'll be getting into this match here in a few seconds, but while we are waiting, Muff, do you want to talk a little bit more about the map we're going to?
Yeah, Idrisil Pass. This is a classic. You know it. You love it. It is the classic push style map. This has got very pivotal choke points, as you can see in this first shot here. When you come around that bend, that is a very important choke point. If the attacking team can manage to push the defending team off of their back foot, they can kind of get some momentum and potentially turn that into a snowball effect. Meanwhile, the second choke point in Idrisil Pass is a very pivotal one as well. It's usually the deciding factor as to whether or not the teams are going to be able to get to the attacker spawns. And yeah, I'm excited to see how both teams pan out.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting here. Let's get into the game here and take a look at these bans here. We see the first ban is that Psylocke from the side of Ex Oblivione. They are hovering the blade, so maybe they're thinking a little bit more about playing that. Although, seeing the track record from this Cozy Cash Cup, maybe not the most expected play. Cafe Rose banning this Wolverine. Any thoughts on this, Muff?
Yeah, I love to see the Wolverine ban immediately. It just keeps the matches pretty dynamic in my opinion, and then we immediately see the Human Torch get protected there. I love to see it. And also, can't forget about Psylocke. I think she's a huge difference maker. You mentioned it earlier, you know, if that Psylocke gets into the back line of a triple stack healers, you can really cause some problems because typically everybody else is just forward facing. So, you know, it causes a lot of disruption. And now we've got the Ultron Protect and the Loki ban goes out. This is going to be another interesting matchup. And then Emma Frost is pretty standard, as you said earlier. Who do you think is going to get protected here?
Definitely probably going to be a tank character, most likely. Maybe a Captain America, something a bit more divey, something to deal with that triple strategist backline that Ex Oblivione is quite clearly trying to build towards. Okay, yeah, the Venom, looking at that dive tank, pretty accurate on my guess here, so not too surprising. Let's see what Ex Oblivione wants to protect here. I think they're going to protect probably the Mantis once again, and I think they'll end up banning Blade. Looking at them, maybe they don't want to deal with the anti-heal, but I'm not sure that's a huge issue for the triple strategist composition. So maybe they just a more traditional ban here, maybe that Magneto ban, so they don't have to deal with that Magneto Venom. Oh, Jeff, okay. Okay, Jeff is good in a lot of very specific circumstances and quite good into triple strategists as they can eat quite a lot of people and prevent them from getting healed. So maybe just kind of trying to hedge their bets here. I'm not sure if Jeff is good on this map specifically, or extremely good into the comp that Ex Oblivione wants to build, but I do know that a lot of teams do like to ban it if it is something that teams want to flex into. Ooh, okay.
And the group ban, there it is.
Yeah, to match the Mantis so that they don't get that extra healing from the group walls. So we're definitely going to see the Magneto Venom here from the side of Cafe Rose. I'm curious to see how Ex Oblivione wants to match it. What secondary tank? Probably going to be the Thing once again, but I'm not sure the Thing will be that great into the more divey composition of Cafe Rose. So I'm curious to see if they want to flex to something a bit more fancy. Maybe we'll see a Thor being quite decent now against dive. Probably pretty solid into Venom as well. So I'm curious to see how they want to shape their comp. Okay, I think Captain America, very solid. Maybe not the best peeling character, but having a third defensive ultimate. Well, I guess two, if you count the fact that Ultron here doesn't really have a strong defensive ultimate. So yeah, we'll still have to see how these teams want to approach it. Ex Oblivione here starting on offense. We do see SKA here on Spider-Man. I'm curious to see if that's actually the pick or it's just there to scout a little bit with his small hurt box. Or maybe just to throw off the side of Cafe Rose.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. And I think that would also kind of throw the entire mental of Cafe Rose as well if Ex Oblivion came out with a Spider-Man, but they don't. They immediately swap over to the Mantis and we see a more traditional kind of lineup. And here we go, folks. We are starting.
And no Bion's doing a good play, keeping that high ground away from the side of Ex Oblivione so they can't cross, and gonna be looking for a little bit of a dive here. Oh, actually getting found a little early, so gonna have the dive on the Magneto. Not the greatest target, but gonna trade some ultimate charge here. Misery is gonna actually almost find the Venom. Gonna have to burn that Magneto bubble. Oh, no more defensive tools here from Cafe Rose. They're in a bad spot. Can Ex Oblivione actually pressure them? I think Cafe Rose is just gonna fall back to the next corner. Magneto not gonna find much there, unfortunately. Tries to jump up to get lyrics. Gonna stay alive here. Etsu kind of putting a bit more pressure, but again, all these defensive cooldowns back from Cafe Rose are gonna hold this corner pretty convincingly.
Yeah, it's really important here, Oblivion. If they want to get any kind of momentum going, they're going to need to establish control of this choke point right here, and it looks like they're actually doing that right now. They are punishing this Venom for getting in there. I don't really think that they have the sustain to keep him up to make much of a difference.
Yeah, here comes both of the ultimates from the Ultron ultimates from the side of both teams. Didn't want to commit at all. Here goes Etsu. Oh, immediately picked off there by Lyrics on the side as we were watching. And so a Tree from the side of Cafe Rose is just going to get that full tempo for himself. Look at Exobility running for the hills there as they wait for the ultimate to run out. And a small disadvantage, actually a pretty large disadvantage for Exobilione, but they have 4 ultimates coming up here. Cafe Rose a little bit late to the party as they did commit a lot more to those defensive ultimates. So here comes out the tempo from Exobilione, gonna push them back. Frontline, backline really separated now. Cafe Rose gonna try to stay alive. Undying, a little too far away. Picks too far away. Yeah, that backline too far back there. Closar gonna match his own, maybe 2 or 3 seconds later. No Binds gonna try to get the one shot. Nice one shot there from No Binds. Very nicely done. Coordinated there with Pixel. Nicely done.
Oh, and then here the Captain America ult go out. We're getting a lot of spacing here from Oblivion, but Cafe Rose is still very much in this. You see the Eternal Bond go out from Respect. He's getting a lot of spacing for his team. This is very important right here. Again, this is such a powerful choke point. I can't stress this enough. Skate managing to stay in there, put some damage out. This is
no Soul Resurgence though.
Just not giving a mile.
Yeah, Undyne gonna look for, tries to get the flicks on Blaziken. Blaziken, nice fancy movement there. Dives out of the way. Here comes Misery. Looking to get very deep ultimate. 2025 Respect immediately out of the fight there. He's gonna match with the Ultron ult to try to keep his team alive. Tree gonna go kind of crazy here. Lyrics almost going out. No ultimates left for either team, but here comes Blaziken gonna come 90% ultimate. A few more left clicks here. Oh, gets picked. That's really unfortunate for Exobilione. Cafe Rose really finding the pressure that they needed there to win that fight.
Yeah, Cafe Rose is absolutely just making a statement here right now. They're saying, if you haven't heard about me, well, now you have.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Cafe Rose ended up winning the fight. They were really far down in tempo, but finding those 2 picks near the end of the fight and really just closed that fight out. Exobilione looked like they're going to have that extra potential there to win with Blaziken's ult. That Supernova, but gonna get caught out there a little bit, and unfortunately that's gonna be pretty bad for Exobilione. They're gonna have only 1 ult coming into this fight unless they want to wait. And looking on the side here, Blaziken gonna look for this flank Supernova. Over the top, really strong positioning. Immediately finding 1 tornado, forcing out Pixel on that Lunasto ultimate. That is really early. Really bad for the side of Cafe Rose, but Exobilione doesn't actually have their own Lunasto ultimate, so they're not gonna be able to match. Gonna actually have to run away. Blaziken left out to dry here, but Ash coming here to support. What can they get? Closer gonna try to run up here. Can Ash stay alive here? Does have the shield, still has ultimate. Gonna stay alive. Skate as well. Gonna try to support this Ultron and Blaziken here. And as we see all these ultimates coming out from Ash, it does look like Exobilione is gonna be able to win this fight.
Yeah, they're pushing Cafe Rose onto the back foot and absolutely making them hurt right now. It's just really interesting to see how Blaziken is able to constantly infiltrate an enemy team's backlines just consistently time after time and just not get punished for it.
Oh, doesn't get anything there. Misery, unfortunately. Lyrics gets picked before he can get the Supernova. Tree might need to use his ult now. Skate actually going to commit his own Soul Resurgence early. So, unfortunately, we don't see any more ultimates left on the side of Cafe Rose to contest this, but the Ultron ult might be enough to stall for a few more seconds. Yeah, it does look like even with the portal there from Undying, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, oh, Blaziken maybe a little bit too eager there popping that ultimate. Just wants to get that guaranteed push in, I guess, but that's gonna hurt quite a bit since Lyrics is gonna have his own Supernova on the back of this.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I can think of there is just in that moment, you know, it's you'd rather you use it rather than lose it, right? So, like I said, it was just a really good gut judgment call by Exobilion's team side. We're gonna see if it pays off.
Yeah, I think Cafe Noir really committing that Ultron ult at the end, even though the fight is lost, maybe made Blaziken a little bit spooked out. So a good trade there, that Ultron ultimate for the Supernova. It feels very good for the side of Cafe Rose here. Coming up with a small advantage. Blaziken losing that fight initially, gonna have to back up here. No more get out of jail free card, but no Bind's going too deep. Gonna lose 1. Tree almost gonna lose himself as well. Here comes out Etsu, gonna try to force the issue. Pixel getting dice, gonna have to commit that Luno Snow ultimate. And we do have the one shot here from Ash, maybe to match, but no, Lyrics is actually gonna pop his own ultimate first. Pixel's gonna run out of his ult just as Closar starts his. So it's gonna look like a pretty strong fight here from the side of Exobilione.
Yeah, it was just really good timing and patience from Clozar to time out Pixel's ultimate like that. Really good job, and they managed to punish Cafe Rose for their impatience, and it looks like they're going to take the second point decisively.
Yeah, I didn't commentate that last part there, but Ash getting the double kill with the damage boosted ultimate. That combo from Ash and Close are gonna close out that fight really nicely. And as we come into this third point, we do see a slight change in composition here. I think Nobines did swap over to the Doctor Strange off of that Venom. Not really finding too much value, going too deep and getting picked.
Yeah,
let's see how that kind of
I
pans
like
out.
this pick though. I like the swap from Nobines. I think this is going to be really strong for his team, especially in this last point. It allows them to dig their heels in and kind of cement themselves and make themselves as much of an immovable object as possible.
Yeah, except actually winning this fight straight up. With 3 strategists, you'd think they would lose that early pressure due to the lack of damage, but actually gonna push back. Here comes Atsu, going over the top, trying to find as much as he can. Undying, gonna look for something, doesn't end up finding anything. Misery still has his own Meteor M here. Oh, Blaziken diving to knock them off the high ground. Very nice play there. Very positional. Nobines dies because of that. Can't keep their team alive if they can't see them. And here comes out Misery. Can he find this Meteor M? This will be a fight-winning play. Oh, nice block there from Undying. Saves them for a few more seconds, but they are losing players left and right here. Pixel down. Oh, portal block from Ash here. Was that from Spawn? No, he actually was just on point here. Oh, Nobines stuck in the corner. Can't get over the top. Oh, you hate to see it.
Wow. Yeah, and I just want to touch base on this. I stress this on Yggdrasil so much. Map control is so important on this map. It dictates your flow, it dictates your momentum. If you saw at the very end there, Blaziken went in and was able to push the 3 supports off of their high ground, which then caused them to basically become scattered. That was just a really great presence of mind moment from Blaziken right there. Good call outs.
Yeah, Blaziken really knocking them off that high ground. They have to, like, Nobines just immediately dies. No more strategy support. His shield is probably going straight to 0, and because of that, they lose all that space on the map. Blaziken being the cavalry to the side of Exoblivione, really driving a pincer maneuver straight into the heart of Cafe Rose. We'll have to see how they want to adjust to deal with that. They did kind of lose a lot of pressure. I'm surprised Ultron was not doing that great. Tree here on this Ultron from the side of Cafe Rose, not doing a great job at matching Blaziken with lyrics. I think Etsu and Blaziken, this dynamic flyer duo, is doing an excellent job against Tree and Lyric. We'll have to see if they can turn this around from the side of Cafe Rose. Maybe it's just a side advantage. But both teams going back to their expected comps here. We see Ash on the Venom. We see Nobines on the Venom as well. Both teams basically running an identical composition now. Cafe Rose did swap up their comp to match it, so let's see how they want to approach this beginning of the fight.
Yeah, right away you see Blaziken and Ash both set up to make a different, sorry, a difference-making play. And right out the gate, you see Nobines. He might have overextended there just a little bit. Gets out thanks to his off tank.
If he stays alive, that's good enough, though. That's a lot of ult charge there for Nobines and the healers from the side of Cafe Rose. Oh, here goes Ash for his own. He wants to try to take as much damage as he can, jump out, get healed by his healers, build them some ult charge here. Skate actually kind of just getting poked out there a little bit by Lyric. Lyric putting a lot of pressure here. Exoblivione struggling a lot more against this flyer duo than they were earlier. And, oh, Undying, no more cooldowns left. Tricycle was actually his own support there, even though he was 1 HP, gonna stay alive. Oh, Exoblivione, that's a little bit far back as they try to stay alive on the backline, but Cafe Rose gonna lose Lyrics there.
Come out. Pixel's got his ultimate now.
Yeah, Ash going super deep blind, but stays alive. That's enough healing from the side of Exoblivione. Cafe Rose losing 1 there early. Ooh, but look at the ultimate vanish here from the side of Exoblivione. 2 ultimates, although 3 from Cafe Rose. That Supernova, the one offensive ult that both teams have, is going to be at advantage for Exoblivione here.
Yeah, Blaziken's on his way to an ultimate of his own as well here. He might even try to get himself positioned for another cheeky flank.
Yeah, we see Pixel here gonna use his ult to force the issue, pushing straight into the composition. Undying, gonna try to find it. Finds Skate immediately before he could have his own ultimate to follow. Closer, gonna have to pop that Luminous ultimate to stay alive. Blaziken popping Supernova. Gonna keep the strategist out of line of sight. Is that enough? Misery, gonna look for 1, finds none. We do see 205, gonna stay in the corner, stay alive here. And there's not a lot of left for Exoblivione. They went super deep, tried to double down on the play, but Cafe Rose, nice splitting up of their composition, but staying composed.
Yeah, and right away you see Ash just trying to make a good play, trying to stall out. Manages to actually stay alive here.
Yeah, that Soul Resurgence buys him a little bit of time, but Cafe Rose dumping 3 ultimates onto the portal here. That's a lot of damage coming out. That Supernova adding a lot of value to the side of Cafe Rose. And yeah, we just see Exoblivione maybe a little bit too big for the bridges coming on that portal, committing Soul Resurgence super early. They do want to keep that touch, but what was that, like 30 extra seconds for a big ultimate? But I mean, as I say that, they're staying alive here. Lyric's actually in a really bad spot. They lose Lyrics and there's almost no damage left from the side of Cafe Rose, but no strategist from the side of Exoblivione. But look how far the cart is. They haven't been pushing it this entire time, so they might actually get one more pick here. Let's see if Ash actually might be able to one to get the touch here. He's a little bit far out, but no, he's gonna get the touch here. Pretty good. I mean, Missouri's just on the point. Oh, big dive here on the back line.
Huge dive. Manages to isolate Mantis. Causes enough disruption. He's gonna back out, get some health.
Here comes Dyne looking for that Luna Snow out in the open, but oh, hits the wall. Nothing to be found. Playing Ring Around the Rosie with that Magneto. Nothing to follow, but as we see here, because those strategists are getting line of sight, they're just kind of falling apart to the side of Cafe Rose, who is staying together on that point.
Yep, Cafe Rose walks away with the first point. There's a great fight between both teams. Cafe Rose just managing to pull it out with their ultimate management and teamwork. This is a great fight, folks.
Yeah, they're looking much better here on the attack. Lyrics maybe not matching Blaziken in raw value, but the overall teamwork from the side of Cafe Rose makes up for that difference tenfold. And as you watch this next fight come out, we do have a slight advantage, I think, for Exoblivione. They have a few better ultimates, but and their defensive ultimates will be coming back up. Nobines goes super deep, gets frozen immediately, slept immediately, barely stays alive. Nope, gets taken down. Nice snipe there from Etsu.
Good
really
pick.
impactful.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, here comes the Supernova though. Ooh, actually a little bit out in the open, Blaziken. Maybe a little early. Gonna be followed up by this Ultron ult, trying to put pressure, keep those strategists back. Pixel already popping his defensive ultimate. Etsu popping his own, and only, actually both ultimates up for Exoblivione. They're defensive ultimates, so Cafe Noir in a pretty bad spot here, as they're gonna be at a slight tempo advantage, or disadvantage. And oh, nice headshot there from Blaziken. Almost gonna find that Ultron. Maybe gonna find it, not enough to finish.
Yeah, no, and immediately see Ash trying to dive in and get some space for his team. It looks and Closar pops his ultimate. Luna ultimate is out. Looks like they're going to put a lot of damage out as well.
Yeah, here goes Nobines. Gonna try to get that damage on the end, but immediately followed up by Soul Resurgence. Soul Resurgence matched by that Eternal Bond. Gonna last a little longer than that Soul Resurgence. Already gone as Eternal Bond just gets out. And as Exoblivione gets pushed back inside their spawn, I don't think they're gonna be able to get out for another touch. No more ultimates, no more value. Maybe a Strange Portal, but no one's on Strange right now.
Yeah, no, that was just a really good defensive hold by Cafe Rose right there. Especially at disadvantage.
Blaziken really going out on his own solo 1v6 trying to find. Oh, actually, maybe gonna be the fight winner here. That's a big pick.
Him!
He's him, but his team's falling apart around him. But is that gonna be enough? Here comes a Meteor Ram, Undying, looking for that any flyer he can find. Has to throw it onto the Venom, no damage. Here comes out Soul Resurgence from the side of Cafe Rose. Is that enough? Blaziken's still alive on point. Nope, that's not gonna be enough. Soul Resurgence just a little bit too powerful, a little bit too much sustain. And yeah, that's gonna be a pretty good fight there for Cafe Rose. They're gonna come up actually a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of time. So Exoblivione only needs to hold out for 30 more seconds actually, which is probably more time than it takes to push the point. So they're actually at a slight advantage here.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, you got Exoblivion there. They are ultimate farming right now. Misery is about to have his Magneto. Etsu just came online. Nobines is about to go down. Nobines gets picked off right there. You hate to see it. Cafe Rose does not need that at this point in time right now. We only have 1 minute 50 seconds left.
Brings on a tree with that Ultron Ultra. Oh, immediately matched by Misery, but broken immediately by the side of Cafe Rose. Not going to be enough. Blaziken gonna try to match it with his Supernova. Push those strategists back to the corner where they cannot heal their tanks. No defensive ultimates from Cafe Rose. This is a really impactful Supernova. Really well timed. But not as much space as I was expecting. Nobody's staying alive a lot longer on point than he needed to. Undying, basically untouched. Everyone kind of just ignoring him. But Cafe Rose, all these ultimates are up because a lot of damage, but not a lot of deaths. Lyric's actually getting picked out too far out by himself. But yeah, look at Cafe Rose. Still up in ultimates here. So yeah, the follow-up is going to be huge too. 2025 Respect. Going to come out with Eternal Bond. Not too much left for Exoblivione. They're probably going to get pushed back here.
no vines. Just pops his ultimate, gets no real value out of it. You hate to see it. Pixel pops her Mantis ult. Can they turn this around? This is going to be a very pivotal team fight, perhaps even the last team fight. And she's just Pixel standing there trading with Ashe. Ashe has to bail off, heal off, and go help his backline.
Yeah, even though Oblivion kind of fell back here, they didn't, like, Cafe Rose basically got nothing, almost no tempo. They can't, like, deal with that high ground position now. Oh, here goes Ashe. Let's see if he can get anything on the backline here, just being really a nuisance. Undyne immediately stunned, has to back up to watch his team. Etsu, gonna try to find something. Undyne, trying to block it, gets nothing. Lyrics is gonna follow up with his own Supernova, Misery. Looking for the snipe, though. What does he find? Nothing. Oh, actually finds one, 205, walking into it.
Slam dunk!
Is that actually enough of a fight winner? That's their main strategist down, their main healing source. I don't think there's anything left. Blaziken.
Well.
Yeah, Blaziken following up with Supernova. That's gonna be a lot of damage. Yep, there goes the main damage of Cafe Rose. Lyrics gone. Try to follow up with the Ultron ult, but is there anything left here?
Strange portal went out. They get a touch.
Closer though with the Lunastone ultimate. I don't think there's anything left. Ashe is gonna get his ult really fast. Gonna immediately just dive down into the ground, get that insta kill on anyone on cart. Actually, Pixel barely gets a touch with Soul Resurgence, but is that even worth it? I mean, I guess it is because there's nothing left to do, but no one's going to be able to touch again. Actually, Novine's going to be on the backline here. Does he need to pop the ult to get the kill? Doesn't even get it, unfortunately.
And he doesn't get the kill. What a fight. Cafe Rose really coming out and swinging and making a statement. If you haven't heard about them, you have now. I've said it multiple times, folks. These people came to make an absolute statement in the Cozyverse.
Yeah, what a mad dash for the finish.
Match.
Yeah, a mad dash for the finish there at the end. I was actually quite impressed by both teams. I think Cafe Rose was really putting up a fight there on the first and second point. They actually got the second point pretty convincingly. So I'm surprised that we saw the adjustment there from Oblivion to hold on, and very nicely done for both teams there.
Yeah, 48,000 healing from Pixel, almost 20,000 damage as well. I mean, he just absolutely dialed in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think there was just a little bit more cohesiveness from the side of Oblivion. We saw a lot more ultimate combos like Ashe, Whip, Closar there. That damage boosted Venom ultimate was just a little bit more effective. That Feast of the Abyss finding a few more kills in those spots that they needed it the most. And Blaziken really being the star player for the side of Oblivion, really opening up the match for them. Finding individual picks, really just opening the game up.
Yeah, Blaziken is just a name that time and time again throughout this tournament we've just been highlighting, and there's reason for it. You know, he's a great flanker. He's a great. He's got a high fight IQ, and he knows when to peel himself off of a major fight to go find the flank, and just causes the best amount of disruption that allows for his team to take space and take that map control and dig their heels in whatever they do. It's been really impressive to watch.
Yeah, not saying that Lyrics was a slush either. He actually has more kills and overall more final hits than Blaziken. I think Lyrics was doing a really good job finding the picks that his team needed, but overall damage was just not showing. We did see Blaziken was just constantly ahead in that ultimate economy, being able to find those like openings where there was no ultimates from the side of Cafe Rose, and Oblivion is just gonna pounce on that and what did they say, rip their throats out. I mean, it was just a massacre whenever they had that strong advantage.
Yeah, and huge shout out to Cafe Rose for coming out to the Cozy Cash Cup and representing themselves and just doing a really great job of showcasing their skills. Can't express the gratitude enough. This doesn't happen without you guys, and we hope to see you guys again in the next Cozy Cash Cup.
Yeah, and as we wait for the next match, which should be Ego Death versus Oblivion, we actually do have the next map here, I think, which should be Convergence on Clintar, and we can take a quick look at it while we wait for the next map, and before I send you guys over to break. Yeah, so do you want to talk a little bit more about Symbiotic Surface here, Muff? I think this is a really exciting map, especially as the first game for the finals.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think the first point in and of itself is just a absolute chaotic mess in all of the best ways possible. You have high ground, you have low ground, you have flanks, you have a very tight, choked up area to push through in the front.
Typically, you tend to see teams, if they don't start out with a Doctor Strange portal, they typically try to poke and prod each other to kind of see what each other's about, and then within a few seconds, you end up seeing a shift in the match dynamic, and all of a sudden, it is just an all-out brawl on the point, and it's just exciting to watch. I can't wait for this matchup.
Yeah, and so yeah, we'll see the next match here in a little bit, which should be oh, it hasn't updated yet onto the bracket, but I'll actually highlight it for you guys real fast. It will be the grand finals between Ego Def and Ex Oblivione. We do have on the, I believe it's going to be the winner's side, we're gonna have Ego Def. So they have to win only one match, while Ex Oblivione has to win two, since they're coming from the loser's side. So yeah, we'll have to see this next match. Maybe we'll see another match, but we'll have to see if Ego Def can beat Ex Oblivione. Once again, as they did have that run back, or this is a run back from winners round 1, where Ego Def went 1-0 against Ex Oblivione. So we see you guys real fast in a little bit for the next winners finals game, or grand finals game actually. Hey guys, welcome back to the Cozy Cash Cup. We are getting here into the grand finals in a little bit here. And yeah, we have a pretty exciting game for you here on Clintar's Symbiotic Surface. We talked about a little bit before we went to break, but Muff, do you want to give a little bit of a reminder of where we're going right before we get into game?
Yeah, this is a classic conversion style map. You know, you got your first points like domination, and then it's basically a push standard map. This has got a lot of dynamic engagement opportunities. You have lots of high ground. You have lots of flanks. You have a very, very tight main entrance that is a very powerful choke point for defensive teams. Just all in all, we're going to see a lot of chaos. We're going to see a lot of really big brain plays from each team. I mean, they're going to have to pull out all the stops in order to pull out a dub.
Yeah, and it does look like we were about to get into the matchup, but we have a slight DC, so we might be waiting a little longer. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about this map. And I think on this first point, it should be interesting to see how they want to approach this first point. Some teams really like to approach it from that left side. Actually, I'll pan over to it real fast so you guys can see it. Right here on the left, or on the right of our screen, that low ground, a lot of teams like to push into there so they can get access to spawn and get access to the backup point. But some teams like pushing on the left where that area is breakable so they get access to a high ground. So it should be pretty interesting to see how they approach it. And yeah, it looks like we are going to be getting into game. Hopefully there are no issues this time. Yeah, it looks like we are good, so we will be getting into the game here. And in this grand finals match, we have Ego Def versus Ex Oblivione. We see have Ego Def on the defense to start, and Ex Oblivione immediately banning the Venom. Maybe they don't want to play a similar comp to what they did in the last game. So yeah, it should be interesting. Also, just generally good against that triple support comp, or triple strategist comp that they've been running for the last few rounds. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how they want to approach this Ego Def. And it looks like Ego Def was watching as they banned that Ultron. Any thoughts on that, Muff?
Yeah, I like the Ultron ban personally. I think Ultron is actually a huge difference maker, especially whenever you want to run the triple support comp. He typically is at a huge damage output, especially whenever he gets his ultimate. So it's just always fun to see him on the field. But at the same time, it really shakes things up a bit whenever you see Ultron get banned. And then also you see Spider-Man get protected. That one is very interesting to me.
Oh, okay. Silent Protection. We saw the Ex Oblivione banning it quite a lot, so it looks like they have quite a large character pool. And with Captain America banned, it's almost a complete opposite draft that they had from the last game. And I'm curious to see how Spider-Man's going to be used here. A bit of a dive, but without that Venom, going to be quite a bit harder, especially since Cap is now also banned. There's not that many dives, like Vanguard's dive tanks that can be used to support this Spider-Man. Maybe they can use Magneto to support it or Thing, but it's a lot weaker. And yeah, with Emma Frost banned, it does look like they don't really want to deal with that poke composition, leaning more towards a dive style. And interestingly enough, while we're waiting for these next few protects, I wanted to note that the Ultron is being used very similarly to how I said that Cloak and Dagger was used, using that early ultimate for that tempo advantage. So I think that Ultron kind of filled that role that Cloak and Dagger did, but because of that, they have to play a triple strategist composition because Ultron has quite low healing. So I think that's a really interesting consequence of that Cloak and Dagger ultimate getting nerfed, and it really did lead to some really exciting games today.
Yeah, agreed entirely. And then we see the Jean Grey protect as well. I love to see it.
I think she's really fun in high team level play. It's really interesting to see how teams end up utilizing her. And then we see the Loki ban. Loki is just way too strong, in my opinion, after this buff. After his regeneration domain buff. I totally agree with that ban. I'm expecting to see a Luna Snow ban right here.
I'm expecting to see a Mantis ban here. I'm curious to see, because like you can run the Mantis Groot combination here. Okay, so they do ban Hulk. They don't want to deal, again, very anti-dive. Magneto protect to help that Spider-Man. And then we have the Hulk ban so that they don't have to deal with Namor. I'm really curious to see if they are actually going to go for this dive. Oh, Jitward, maybe on this Black Panther. Could be really exciting. I think Black Panther is really good, but requires quite a lot of skill to execute effectively. And looking at this composition, triple DPS or duelist, 1 Vanguard, 2 strategists. A very aggressive like strategy here from Ego Def. Let's see if it's gonna pay off for them. And from the side of Ex Oblivione, a lot more conservative. They have the Adam Warlock, so that's gonna feel pretty good. They have Rocket here. I'm curious to see if they're gonna, like, what else they're gonna run here, but Etsu actually gonna be on Sunlight here. We haven't seen him on this today, but definitely in the past we've seen Etsu find a lot of value, and that is the new Psylocke skin that came out recently. So he's repping that as well. And looking from the side of Ego Def, they're gonna be running a more flyer comp. I thought they were gonna go for more dive, but they just want to run the Spider-Man solo here. Maybe they just want to get a quick early pick and then swap off. We'll have to see, but yeah, actually, I think it's probably gonna be like a Magneto, and then I think Strange. I think Jetwar's gonna try for that early pick, early damage, and then immediately gonna swap off to Strange. But we'll have to see if that's what they want to do here. Oh, well, yeah, I just noticed this. The Thor. Ooh, we love to see it.
Oh,
a new skin as well.
I've been waiting for this.
Gonna play anti-dive here. Sees the Spider-Man. Spider-Man trying to find something. Jetward finding nothing. Immediately gonna have to dive back to his team, but they do see Ash on the Thor. Oh, he's gonna swap off. Maybe just scaring the Spider-Man a little bit. Jetward gonna feel a little bit spooked out here, but goes super deep. Finds that Cloak and Dagger out in the open. Immediate execution there. Nicely done from Ego Def. I mean, Jetward specifically, but Ego Def overall. Nice follow-up.
Yeah, that's just a great response. Man, I was really hoping to see some Thor gameplay. Oblivion gets picked off 3. Etsu, Misery, and Skate all getting sent back to spawn. They're going to have to regroup and rethink their strategy on how they're going to get to this first point.
I mean, at least we can see Jetwar pop off on the Spider-Man, getting a triple kill, using that team up with the Human Torch there. Getting incredible value here. Maybe Jetwar is their ace in the hole with the Spider-Man. Let's see how Oblivion wants to approach it. Gonna keep Ash here on the Strange. Actually, not gonna go to Thor. Maybe I think that might be more effective, shutting down that Spider-Man immediately. Spider-Man going super low, barely stays alive. Incredible movement there. We'll have to see how Oblivion wants to approach this first point.
Yeah, and I see Ash has swapped over to oh, sorry, not Ash. Skate swapped over to Luna. I think that's a really powerful pick. I think that's going to be a huge difference maker. They're going to need somebody who's going to be able to be hit scan and try and potentially take care of that Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it looks like Ego Def kind of getting spread out across the point. Blaziken gonna find that first pick on Phoenix, finding it on the Human Torch. Here's immediate ult, keep himself alive. Ultimate goes wide. Exec also gonna use the ult to stay alive, but does end up finding a pick on Skate. It looks like there's nothing left for Oblivion. 2 DPS, 1 strategist down, and Ash actually dead already on the Doctor Strange. And yeah, it looks like they're gonna just back up here Oblivion, but how much are they gonna lose here? Misery barely stays alive. That's great for them. Keeps them alive, keeps that fight a little bit faster though.
Oblivion got 2 minutes here to show the Cozy Cash Cup versus what they got. Otherwise, they go home. Remember, they have to win 2 if they want to stick it out and take home the dub on this tournament.
Yeah, a really nice combo there from... oh, actually, Joe, we're just going super deep while I was talking, getting a really nice position there, pulling them apart. Wow, Joe, we're really being the ace in the hole for Ego Def here. Maybe not getting a lot of kills himself, but definitely setting up his team for success.
Jetward is just absolutely out of his mind right now. Like, that is... If you could have pulled that and told me that was on your bingo card, I would have told you were a liar.
Yeah, it's just really struggling here on the flank. Oh, wow. Jetward just going straight in. That's 1. Executed immediately. It stays alive, but it gets executed as well. Self, though, gonna follow with Supernova. Gonna push them into this little choke point. That feels really bad for Oblivion, but they are up. Actually, they're down. They're even, actually. They lost 1 strategist during this whole, like, kerfuffle here. And as they're trying to approach this point, Ego Def gonna swap sides from Oblivion. And yeah, that ult's doing nothing there. Immediately picked off there. Soko looking for one more. Trying to find... Bubbled. That bubble immediately gets burned down, so Close are gonna die immediately there. Soko, nice follow-up.
Yeah, the double play, the follow-up, it's just beautiful. You love to see it. Skate holding out hope for anything.
Yeah, going straight to that Luna Snow ultimate, the damage is just super high from the side of Ego Def, only running 1 tank. If you told me that there was going to be a 1-tank composition, I wouldn't be that surprised, but very impressive here from the side of Ego Def, being very decisive, finding all the kills that they could ever want. Jetward just being annoying. Look how far he's pulling the team back from the side of Oblivion. They're scared to even walk forward, and as they turn around, all the damage from Tex is really putting a hamper onto the tempo of Oblivion. But Jetward going down early.
3, 2, 1. This is it, folks. We are in overtime.
Oh, no support ults! No strategist ults from the side of Oblivion. They can't stay alive on point. Here goes X-Tech. Gonna get a good kill with his ultimate. Blaziken has to use it to stay alive. That's not a great trade. And as the momentum finally runs out of that Luna Snow ultimate, what a really clean hold there from Ego Def.
What a match.
What a dominant performance there. Honestly, I think the side. I need to collect my thoughts here. Give me a second.
Yeah,
I think Ego Def has got something crazy. I think this one tank composition, the huge amount of damage coming out here from Ego Def, allows them to take any weakness from the defensive composition from Ex Oblivione and just allows them to capitalize on it, and immediately kill the strategist of Ex Oblivione. And that is really, really detrimental to Ex Oblivione's composition, especially since because there's so little damage coming out from Ego Def, like they kill things so quickly. The strategists from Ex Oblivione can't get ult charge, so they don't get their ultimates as often, which also means that they're going into each fight with an ultimate disadvantage, specifically defensively, and that's something that Ex Oblivione tends to rely on. The more traditional Marvel Rivals playstyle is just use your ultimates and win these big fights, keep that advantage, right? But Ego Def, just lots of damage. Lots of picks. Well, I mean, lots of damage output, but not lots of damage in general. As we kind of look at the scoreboard, it does look very, very impressive from the side of Ego Def here. But like, what we really can't tell here is like, there's not a ton of healing from the side of either team, honestly, considering how long the match has gone on. Oh, Black Widow. That's not a traditional pick here. Probably, again, looking for that damage boost, looking for those one-tap headshots so they can prevent the ult charge and maybe burst open this point early since they only need 1 point. Oh, actually, here comes a portal from Jit Ward. Gonna get onto point immediately as Branko gets picked off. This Black Widow not as scary anymore. And as both teams kind of approach this point here, actually, Ego's gonna find their own pick as well. X-Tech playing really aggressive here. Nice pick off on Skate, very clean. Look at all this pressure that he's building just by existing.
Yeah, Zaytax is just absolutely being a problem right now. Their flyers, Ex Oblivion's flyers are just scared to make a move.
Wow, and that's it.
What a statement. What a statement.
I'm blown away.
Yeah, I just had to take that all in because that was one of the more untraditional compositions I've ever seen in Marvel Rivals.
What an excellent, like, I'm gonna be honest, Ego Def here, maybe not showing like the crazy team fight coordination and like macro management of ultimates that we see from a lot of different teams, but they definitely understand how to get kills on the board and how to push space. And that's really what they showed off here. And that's a skill that we don't usually see from these teams from the Cozy Cash Cup. And maybe this is a statement on the changing meta. I think they've definitely adapted to it a lot better than Ex Oblivione from what I can tell here. And we saw the Spider-Man. I didn't mention earlier, he did get a buff on his team up with the Human Torch that makes it a lot easier for him to secure kills. And as we saw, he was really securing kills with that team up. So yeah, really impressive play there from Ego Def. And as we go back to the bracket here real fast, we'll see it updated here in a second, but that should just be the game here for Ego Def. That just should be the entire match one since they are from winner's side. So thank you for, I guess thank you to both teams because both teams are going to get quite a bit of money here. Ego Def winning $300 in first place from this Cozy Cash Cup, while Ex Oblivione winning $200 from second place. An impressive performance from both teams, but Ego Def really showing an understanding of this new like meta or new playstyle that they're trying to cultivate here.
Yeah, that was just really awesome gameplay, teamwork, all of the above from Ego Def. You know, congratulations to them for winning this month's Cozy Cash Cup, or this iteration of the Cozy Cash Cup. And honestly, congratulations to Ex Oblivion for making it this far. You know, they had to fight through the losers bracket. They fought through Atlanta Phoenix Guard. They fought through Monkey. They fought through Cafe Rose. They had a little bit of adversity through round 2 and round 4. They were able to rise above and respond. And, you know, just unfortunately they fell short this time. But, you know, I do think that this is one of those teams that is on the cusp of greatness. They are really, really close to achieving the ultimate goal of, you know, taking home the victory in the Cozy Cash Cup.
Yeah, and Ego Def definitely not a slouch either. They played in June's Marvel Rivals Ignite, like the professional tournament circuit. And yeah, looking at their play here, I definitely think they're onto something new, something great. And yeah, I don't think Ex Oblivion played poorly at all. They were just playing their own meta. But I think Ego Def has definitely found something that works, something that not many people are super comfortable with at the moment. At least from what I can tell, it looks like Ex Oblivion was like a fish out of water. It's like they came to a test but didn't know any of the answers. And as they're scrambling to figure something out, it just wasn't fast enough. And incredible play there from Ego Def anyways. Their execution was incredible, like in general. So yeah, I mean, very impressive, especially like Dribbleward on that Spider-Man, a very uncomfortable, unfamiliar pick, really executing it to its fullest.
Yeah, I'm just still, my jaw is just dropped for both of these teams. I mean, I'm a huge nerd for this stuff. I love watching high level plays from high level teams, and I always manage to take away something from watching a team. And I think tonight I've managed to take away multiple things from both of these teams. You know, we watched Ex Oblivion from start to finish, and you know, watching their grind to get to where they were at, just to have Ego Death come in and just basically big bro them was, you know, that was humbling.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't even think Ex Oblivion played poorly. I think they played an excellent game throughout the entire Cash Cup. It's just like Ego Def playing a different game. Like they're on something, they're just doing an entirely different game plan, something that wasn't even in the lectures. And when it comes to that final exam, Ex Oblivion just falls short. And unfortunately, it does look like we're probably not going to get an interview here for the follow-up to ask Ego Def a little bit more about how they're feeling about those matches. But yeah, I think we're probably going to wrap it up here in a little bit. Muff, is there anyone who would like to thank here for this Cozy Cash Cup?
Yeah, I'd love to thank Avalanche first and foremost for making this happen. You know, in terms of allowing the Cozyverse to put on the Cash Cup like this, and then again for the Cozyverse to put on something like this. I think this is incredible. This is an awesome community event, and I think that if you're not aware of who Cozyverse is, I think you should be now, and this is only the beginning in my eyes for me. Outside of that, I want to thank Merciless Esports. They allow me to represent myself and be my full self. And yeah. Oh, and shout out to my nephew, man. My nephew just had open heart surgery about a week and a half ago, and he's finally able to have visitors. And I'm just thankful that he's doing good and he's healthy. So shout outs to him. Love you, Bubba.
Yeah, and as we're wrapping up, I would like to thank a lot of people. So thank you to Mash, the tournament organizer, for organizing all of this. He did a great job gathering the teams and making sure the tournament runs great. Thank you, Muff, for co-hosting this with me. It helps a lot with the stream. And yeah, thank you to all the teams who came out here today, especially, actually, not even especially, every team did quite great. And Ex Oblivion and Ego Def showing off some incredible game here at the end. And thank you to all the viewers who came out to watch. And yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say here, Muff, before we do the call off?
No, as always, I love your faces. Thank you guys so much. W's in the chat, hearts in the chat, and I'll see you faces at the next one.
Yeah, and as we're gonna head off, I will leave you guys with some highlights. Let me get them set up real quick. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next Cozy Cash Cup.
Look at Ash is looking to throw Edsu just straight caution to the wind.
Yeah, Lisa did actually swap off the Wolverine here onto the Punisher, a little bit more consistent. Oh, nice grab there from Edsu off the side. That is a clever time trying to equalize the odds here. Not enough damage to get through. Will Llama commit his own ultimate? Here goes Meteor M. Can he get one of the supports here? But that's a lot of blocking. That's one.
He says,
that's good
hold
enough.
This. Oh, it picks off the Loki. That was huge.
You could say.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate, but it's like the timing is so great from Ex Oblivion. They are all dialed in. So Phoenix Guard is also saying, wait, it's not over. Hold my drink. We're still in this.
Defensive ultimate from Ex Oblivion comes out one more time. There's nothing to match from Phoenix Guard, and I don't even know if they can get onto the point. They just get melted as they walk up. Ash just gonna hard commit that Eye of Agamotto on one. It's gonna be hopefully good enough here to finish. Oh, gonna have to force the ultimate out from Exapolione. Immediately, Lipstick gets completely just balled onto there by the rest of Exapolione, and after going super deep, here goes last stand. Immediate pick there onto 2. Gonna be a nice cleanup though. The finish. That's probably gonna be 1, but does keep each other alive, playing Patty Kick in the back line for Exapolione. Lipstick gonna swap to Ultron very fast, gonna get this ultimate, very effective at pushing the tempo, and I think as Exapolione kind of loses this point, I think Phoenix Guard is gonna come out on top.
Yep, there goes the top Eternal Bond.
Oh, Mama goes deep. That is a nice Magneto. Oh.
Tom Brady. Oh, and
To this Odin, clobbering time, gonna get 2, but inside of that Eternal Bond, gonna stay alive. Etsu still has last stand. Is he gonna try to pull someone out? Gonna try to get both of the backline? That's 2. Is that gonna be enough? Yep. Combined there with Misery's Meteor and incredible Eternal Bond, immediately matched by Klosar. Both Eternal Bonds are on point. I think Klosar has a little bit of a bigger ultimate. Irresistible actually gonna immediately knock out SK8. Gonna get him out of the fight immediately. Conan gonna match it with his own ultimate. And that's a really, really nice ultimate combination there from Exapolione. A slight positional advantage being on this high ground. Oh, Misery gets 2 there. Incredible pick there with the dives with Blaziken. That's actually going to be a fight-winning picks there. Maybe a little bit too fast there from the side of Monkey.
I really do think Monkey has an opportunity here to make a statement, and they really need to take their heels in the dirt and stand 10 toes to fight this out.
Oh, but look at Blaziken. Immediate pick there on the punisher. Really nice dive.
Can they do it? They got 10%.
Yeah, Kokana trying to put a portal, but it's gonna get knocked around by the side of Monkey. Oh, gets knocked out of the portal. That should be it. There's nothing left. Is there anyone who can even touch?
And that's the ball game.
Bro's gonna try to stay alive. Undyne, a little too far away. Picks too far away. Yeah, that backline too far back there. Klosar gonna match his own, maybe 2 or 3 seconds later. No binds. Gonna try to get the one shot. Nice one shot there from No Binds. Very nicely done. Coordinated there with Pixel. Nicely done. Crazy here. Lyric's almost going out. No ultimates left for either team, but here comes Blaziken. Gonna come 90% ultimate. A few more left clicks here. Oh, gets picked. That's really unfortunate for Exapolione. Cafe Rose really finding the pressure that they needed there to win that fight.
Yeah.
And Blaziken here. And as we see all these ultimates coming out from Ash, it does look like Exapolione is gonna be able to win this fight.
Yeah, they're pushing Cafe Rose onto the back foot and absolutely making them hurt.
Lyrics is actually going to pop his own ultimate first. Pixel's going to run off his ult just as Klosar starts his. So it's going to look like a pretty strong fight here from the side of Exapolione.
Yeah, it was really good timing and patience from Klosar.
A few more seconds, but they are losing players left and right here. Pixel down. Oh, portal block from Ash here. Was that from Spawn? No, he actually was just on point here. Oh, No Bind stuck in the corner. Can't get over the top. Oh, you hate to see it. Actually, Pixel barely gets a touch with Soul Resurgence, but is that even worth it? I mean, I guess it is because there's nothing left to do, but no one's going to be able to touch again. Actually, No Bind's going to be on the backline here. Does he need to pop the ult to get the kill? Doesn't even get it, unfortunately. I think Joe Ward finding nothing, immediately going to have to dive back to his team, but they do see Ash on the throw. Oh, he's going to swap off, maybe just scaring the Spider-Man a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna feel a little bit spooked out here, but goes super deep. Finds that Cloak and Dagger out in the open. Immediate execution there. Nicely done from Egodef. Immediate execution there. Nicely done from Egodef. I mean, Jitward specifically, but Egodef overall. Nice follow-up.
Yeah, that's just a great response. Man, I was really hoping to see some Thor gameplay.
Leone, they can't stay alive on point. Here goes the X-Tech. Gonna get a good kill with the ultimate. Blaziken has to use it to stay alive. That's not a great trade. And as the momentum finally runs out of that Lunasto ultimate, what a really clean hold there from Ego there. There's a portal from Jitward. Gonna get onto point immediately as Branko gets picked off. This Black Widow not as scary anymore. And as both teams kind of approach this point here, actually Ego's gonna find their own pick as well. X-Tech playing really aggressive here. Nice pick off on Skate, very clear.